Ladies and gents, here we are for the amazing 2020 hit list. How did we do? How did we do with your pal Comic 84 and JHulk Creative?
Let's see, man. Let's see.
Let's see. For those that don't know, about 12 months from this day, JHulk and I sat down and we laid out a bit of a hit list for the year. And yeah, we're about to go through those same hit list books that we discussed that day that we were looking for, and we're gonna, see how it made up. Did the list evolve and change over the year? Did we decide we didn't want some of those books? Who knows? All will be told today.
We talked about a little bit last year, and I don't remember what your answer was, but had you ever made a list of books that you specifically wanted to land in a year? Had you done that before?
I did, but only once the year prior. So for 2019 I did. I actually made a video on it. It was like, this was still in my faceless behind the camera days of YouTube.
Gotcha.
And early on, I had put a hit list out.
I always have a list because there's so many things that I want, and I can run into stuff at a show and not know if I've got a run filler I need or not if I run into it. But this was the first year where I actually had a list of, okay, if at the end of the year I don't have these, I've not achieved a goal, or leveled up, or however you want to take it. So, but I had a hard time narrowing it down last year to a sizable, a presentable list. So I had a bunch of runners up, and I got a bunch of those too. So, but spoilers.
Yeah, it's like I feel like my buying and like collecting over the course of a year, it's a mix of target books from like a list, and then there's definitely an element of opportunity buying that goes along with it too,
Yeah, for sure.
And it's always a beautiful thing when those things cross, That's the sweet stuff right there.
Yeah, man.
Let's say hello to the chat, and before we dig in, ahoy to Captain Comics.
Hey, Captain.
My friend. The Funk Master himself, Funk Comics. Good to see you, man. Ruben Guzman in the house. Cowabunga. The one and only DS Comics in the place to be.
CDS.
The one and only D-Runk Comics in the house. Who, by the way, probably a little after this show, is going to be in a debate stage, man, on Mr. Comics 89's channel. He's on the Knockout show.
Ah, okay.
Where you kind of defend your character versus the other character. Who would win in a contest?
So who's D representing?
D's representing for Ben Reilly, Scarlet Spider.
Oh, of course.
Right? And he's going to have to debate and certify that the Scarlet Spider can defeat Captain Britain.
Oh, no question.
That's what I think too. So, so let's check out D-Runk on that and watch the festivities. Maybe give him a little support.
Yeah, man.
Mr. Comics 89. What's up, Chris Barrett? Let's see, sir. Magic Lasso.
Hey, Lasso.
The chat always becomes like, here we go. My scrolling got away from me. Magic Lasso. Ka-chung. Good to see you. Hey, Delphia, if you're nearby. The Unruly Simeon.
Unruly. Thanks for coming out, man.
Beta Ray Jim. Good to see you, brother. Pat Wall.
I like that avatar.
Oh, man. Jedi Joker?
It's cool.
That is really cool. Hey, now. Here when the kid.
Hey, guys.
Wildebeest. J Hood's right hand man, and he is security for the J Hood compound.
Mhm.
Coach Vic.
He kept me on target. I got to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to have somebody to put you in your place when you're like, man, I see this thing and I want. And he's like, ain't on your list, bud.
The voice of reason. I'm not surprised. And of course, Big Man Cave.
Man cave, good to see you.
Yeah, buddy. So, yeah, friends, we like I said at the top of the show, about a year ago, J Hood and I sat down here on this very channel and laid out a hit list. And we just thought it'd be fun to, if you're gonna sit there and call your shots, set all the targets, we gotta do a recap, see how it went,
Yeah, man. See if you achieved your goals or fell short.
Indeed. And let's not forget NYC and collectible paper. So let's see. I already have one of these teed up. I got one of yours teed up here. So let's bring it. Presenting one of J Hood's hit list books.
Yep.
Was it
the 2001 A Space Odyssey Marvel Treasury edition? So this is like the oversized Treasury. So it's got an all new adaptation of 2001 by Jack Kirby. Well, it was all new back then in 1975 or whatever. But it's all Jack Kirby, his take on 2001. And
let's see. Oh, don't remove them. Let me see if I can get what's a slick way to swap it.
There you go.
Oh,
there it is. I landed a copy. Got a sweet deal from someone in the community through. He did a video of stuff he was selling, and I asked him if he had one of these, and he said, "Yeah." It's got a little bit of a tear here, but for the price I paid, I'm willing to live with it. The rest of it's in great condition. I just needed a good reader copy, something solid, complete. So there it is. 2001 A Space Odyssey.
Success. Yeah, those, the treasuries, you can't beat the, just enjoying the artwork. Reading treasuries is pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
And especially Space Kirby stuff. It must be a blast reading that.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, as a kid, you would sit down in your bedroom on the floor, you lay a book out, you put your head on your chin, looking at the treasury. It's just like that because it's bigger for adults, we grew up, so the book grew up with us.
I was like, the first treasury that I ever really held and read was one that I bought as an AOK for D-Runk. I got him the, that 70s Superman, Spider-Man clash one. And I had never really held one or read one. And I was just in childlike wonder, dude, reading that. It was so cool. It's a totally different reading experience,
Yeah, and if you're a connoisseur of the art, it's cool when you get to see Neil Adams, they reprinted the Ra's al Ghul stuff. They reprinted some of this stuff in some other best of DC treasuries and stuff like that. So you get to see the art closer to full size. So that's pretty cool.
Shout out to JoJo Flicks and Comics.
Hey, JoJo.
Delphia was indeed nearby. Zach B, the Hawkeye. Ben Compton, JP. And I saw my boy James. Where's James? Hold on. Let me properly give a shout out to James.
Hey, man. All right.
Oh, Kayfabe did a video on that book.
Oh, on the 2001. Wow. I'll have to check that out.
Cool. Was that first treasury? That's cool. The Spidey.
Was it? Yeah. I'm not sure if that's the case. That would have been the first Marvel and DC crossover.
I've heard it called that, yeah.
I think the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer one was the first one.
Whoa.
I've only seen it in ads. I've never actually picked up a copy.
So great. Okay. let's see. Another book that was on my list here. I had put Astonishing XMen. The Mark Brooks variant was on that list about a year ago. People probably know I'm always touting this thing.
She is pretty.
You know this one is a thumbs up, man.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let's just give it a little refresher. Well, bam. Not only do I have it, I got it in a sweet DGC slab. The Virgin variant, too. I couldn't settle for the trade dress, you know.
Of course.
It's just totally an artist cover grail.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Never. I don't think I opened it. I'm just like, let me just leave it minty. And
I love that label he made for you. The matching artwork on the label. That's so cool.
Yeah, he totally nailed it. And it was thanks to, there was a couple books that were thanks to that show that we did that they ended up in my possession.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I remember, I told you I went back and watched the video, and in the comments of that video is Spidey fan. It was like, hey, brother, I got that book. If you want to work out a trade or something, hit me up. And indeed, that is what happened.
There you go.
So me and Spidey fan worked out a trade for that. I think I traded him a G.I. Joe 1 for it. And I was happy. The value's pretty much jived, and it was a cool success story. Okay, what was next on J Hood's list of books? Let's see, let's stay. Okay, here we go. We're going to stay similar theme with 2001, number 8.
Yep. The first appearance of Machine Man. So, great classic Kirby yellow cover. And
let's see. Oh, snap. There she is.
There she is. I held out, found the right copy at the right price, landed it.
Yeah, I remember you had said that you really wanted that one because you were piecing together the run, right?
Yeah, I think I just bought the rest of the run as a lot. It was missing this one, and I found it to be cheaper to buy them separately than to buy a complete run at the time. Things may change because, you know, the interest in Machine Man kind of ebbs and flows as things do. So.
Collectible paper, killing it. I thought this was a 2020 list, not just a 2001 list. Strong punnery there. Paper, which I appreciate. Okay. Oops. Very nice. So far, we're batting a good average.
Mm-hmm.
Next one on my list was the Batman Holiday Special. You know, Batman Adventures is a special run to me, you know, because with my little demographic there, that was the run that I was like picking up and amassed the entire run. And I was just, dude, I was obsessed with the Batman animated series. I really was. And I love the comic series.
And that cover is so awesome. I think Mr. Freeze is one of the best characters designs to come from that show, and that cover is just a great representation of him.
Agreed. Yeah, and it was Mignola, right? Mignola designed the animated series costumes. You know that?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. it all makes sense now.
Yeah. Dang right. I scored it. This one, I want to say I got this at one of the C2E2. I think I got this at C2E2. Found a nice copy there. Because it's not a big money book. And
right.
I kind of decided that I didn't need it like in a 9A or slabbed or anything. Because my Adventures run is a raw, you know, run except for the 12.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy with it being raw. and it's not like a big money, so I didn't really want to go to eBay for it. I was hoping to find a nice one out and about. So that con sufficed for that.
You were one of the few that had a chance to land books at cons this year.
I know. I really do feel lucky.
I'll take this moment to show one of the runners up that I got.
Yeah.
That didn't make my list, but because I didn't go to C2E2, I didn't have to spend the money. I was able to pick this up.
Ooh, baby. Yes.
So it was my intention to pick up a Neil Adams key sometime this year. For whatever reason, it just didn't make my top 9 that we showed. So got a really nice copy. Stayed up late, watched the late eBay thing go off, and landed at a decent price.
Yeah. eBay auction, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Heck yeah, man. That's one of the books that's kind of in my upgrade list.
Mm.
I got one. I'm not thrilled with the grade. It's one of those that, like, I considered it a couple times when I was doing like a grading submission, but I was like, I don't know if I want like a 3.0, or 2.5 of it.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where mine is.
Yeah, this one needs a press. If I were to get it graded, it'd probably be a 7.0. I think if I had it pressed.
Yeah, because it looks very clean. Here's one that was on Mr. Hood's list.
So this is the first appearance of the Mimic. The Mimic was a favorite character of mine when I was a kid, and I'd seen him in like the X-Men 138 where they recapped the whole history of the X-Men. I always thought he was interesting, but he never really made any strong comeback appearances. I had his like second, third, and fourth appearance later in the original X-Men run, but never had the original one.
Yes.
So I was able to pick this up. This is the one time I had a local guy post an ad on Facebook Marketplace, and we were able to strike a deal on this right before the COVID shutdowns hit.
Nice.
And then this guy, the guy that I got this from, also has a bunch of the other books that I'm going to be looking for this year. So I'm happy. I'm going to be trying to go back and do some repeat business with that dude.
Oh, nice. And is he just a guy with a home collection that he's piecing through? He said
he's in no hurry to sell it off. He's got real reasonable prices on it. And I want to see if I can make some stuff happen.
That is some of the best buys I've made were from that, kind of linking up with a local person who's trying to sell. It's like, you can't beat it.
Yeah. And I mean, we're in a relatively small town. I've never met this guy before, never run into him, but and I can't get out of him like what else he's got. I know he's got X-Men.
Yeah.
Like, but okay, do you have this or that? I'll run stuff by him and he'll say no, but I know he's got something.
Right.
So
yeah, I was actually thinking about that earlier today because I saw someone post something. They post this great, matter of fact, it was not a Treasury, it was a Marvel graphic novel run. It was like the whole run of them. And he's like, oh man, I scored this on a Facebook Marketplace for $40. And it was like all of them, most of them were first print.
Hmm.
And I'm like, you know what? That's one avenue of getting books that I never really considered because I'm not a Facebook guy.
There was another guy that, like, late last year and early this year was posting. He had 3 copies of Edge of Spider-Verse #2. And he had a really reasonable price on them. And every time he would list it and then pull it down, then list it and pull it down. And whenever he listed it, I didn't have money. And then the one time I had enough money to go and buy it, I never saw the ad again. And then the book exploded. So
that's the Spider-Gwen one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. D-Runk loves the thumb system here. Thank you, sir. And welcome to Bill, Mag Nuisance.
Hey, man.
All right. My next one that we went through on the hit list, it was this baby right here, man. That sensational SheHulk jump rope, infamous jump rope cover
classic.
It really is a classic, man. I really love that book. And you know, it's a thumbs up. You know, it's a thumbs up. It's a little, you know, it's a thumbs up. One of my better stealth buys of the year. Found this just in a back room of a comic shop. It was like the boxes that he thought was like mostly stuff that didn't even really deserve to be out front, you know?
Right.
So, yeah.
I always thought that was a newspaper she's holding up in front of her, but that's the Comics Code badge or stamp thing. That's hilarious.
Yeah, man.
Very cool.
And you can't beat those first like 4 or 5 pages when they're kind of playing with the jump rope sequence. It's a fun book. Nice addition to the She-Hulk collection.
It'll be interesting to see if they try and interpret that in the She-Hulk TV show.
That will be it. It will be interesting to see what influences they use for that show, like the tone of it. You know, I doubt they'll go fourth. Maybe they will. Think of like fourth wall moments, like look at the camera. I don't know.
Rumor has it they're going to go like it's going to be a comedy, a courtroom comedy, and she's going to break the fourth wall. But
I would like that.
Rumors be rumors, so we'll see.
Because I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I'm way more of a sensational She-Hulk guy than the Savage.
Yeah,
I thought it was a super fun series. Southern
Comic Geek
in the house. All right, let's see. What was next on Mr. Hood's list here? Let's cue him up. The next book that Mr. Hood was thinking about picking up was this baby right here. Fantastic Four, number 59. I mean, I guess you don't really have to explain why you would want this book. I mean, it's classic Kirby goodness.
Right. It's got the clash between the Thing and the Silver Surfer. So I'm just getting into my Kirby collecting groove, so to speak. So I figured that would be one of the key ones to get.
Pow!
And this one came with this.
Indeed.
So thanks again, Kenny, for that one. I definitely had some community help with my goal hunting, my goal list this year. So
yeah, me too.
Chalk that one up to you.
Oh.
It's funny because I remember the week you sent me the message you were going to send me something. I was like looking on eBay. I was peeping out copies of this, and I almost bought one. I'm like, I'll wait just in case. That's
yeah.
So I'm glad I held out. Great copy. Thanks again, man.
Of course, man. I was happy to knock one off, and like you said, it's paying it forward, man. Because I got some. There's a couple that were knocked off my list thanks to community kindness. So all good. You're right. So far, we're batting straight thumbs up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. The next one that I had put on my list was this baby right here. I put this guy on the list. Submariner number 5. You know, this was this before I got my number 1? I think maybe I had. Yeah, I had my number 1.
But you got the number 1 at C2E2, right?
Well, yes, but this was pre C2E2 that we did the list.
Yeah, I
got the number. I've owned 2 number 1s at this point. The first number 1 I bought, and you know what? Kavi NYC was around for both of the pickups because at Fan Expo Boston, where I met up with Kavi, is when I bought the number 1.
Gotcha.
That book, though, I sent it out for grading. I didn't realize there was some restoration on it. I just didn't spot it, and it was just irking me, the dang purple label.
Yeah.
So I ended up selling that one, and
hey, Biggie, good to see you, man.
Biggie. So I was just Anyway, I bring that up to say I was on a real Submariner kick, and this is aside from number 1. I mean, I just love this number 5, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the. I gotta say, I always hear people say Tiger Shark has one of the best costume designs. Like I've heard that as a multiple people say that, and I gotta be honest. As much as I love the cover, and I do think Buscema killed it, I don't really. I mean, it's okay.
Yeah, the whole fin on the head thing would be hard to live with.
Yeah, I mean, as an underwater guy, it comes in very handy.
Yeah,
And I do think, like, the mask is cool. I'm down with the mask, but like as far as his bodysuit, I don't.
yeah. There's not a whole lot going on there.
Yeah,
Not a whole lot that's special.
not
That
too-
is a great cover. The design of it is awesome. The way he's got the tiger shark pose there. I definitely see the appeal on that cover for sure.
Oh yeah, the cover's fantastic. Oh, see, I really love the costume. Everyone loves the costume. And don't get me wrong, I like the. I love the costume. I love the pose. But I've heard some people go beyond
Mm.
the just saying it's a great costume of like that is one of the best costumes. Anyway, great book.
Very cool.
Where did I get this one? I think I got this one from. Oh, you know what? Shout out to Gorilla Grodd. I got this one off of Gorilla Grodd, off an Instagram backroom deal.
There you go.
Hey, two brothers. Number 6, one of the all-time favorites. That's when they're up close clashing.
Mm-hmm.
On the number 6, yeah. Simple costume that pays off, no doubt. What's up, Biggie Shaq? I have the best Tiger Shark collection on YouTube. All right, let's see if I can find the stumper here. Oh, actually, let me go in order. So, okay, so the next one that Hood had on his list, which he had said it was a book that he technically owned, but it was on his list as an upgrade that he was prioritizing. And we're talking that 28.
Yeah. So I had to pedal the one that I had. The one I had a rip at the top and a lot of color breaks, and I think one of the staples was even about to go, if I remember right, but I can't remember for sure. So I sold that off on one of the sales I was on to someone in the community. Low grade's better than no grade.
Yep.
But I went out and I landed this acceptable condition copy. It's not perfect. It's got some staining up here, and I actually need to try and replace the staple. It's got a little bit of rust on it, but the rest of the book's in fine shape for me.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Yep. I just needed a copy that wasn't trashed, but this book is kind of tough to find in mid grade, and especially find it at a mid grade and an affordable price too. That's the biggest trick. A lot of people really overprice this one, especially in the lower grades. But great classic red cover.
It really is. It'd be nice to like line them up of like the Juggernaut, Key, the Banshee, Sentinel.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple other cool red ones.
There's another one where like the whole thing is red.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a nice red X-Men covers there. Fantastic pickup. Lasso used to play as X-Men with a friend as a child, and he used to be Banshee. No Banshee. Good for you. Let's see. Moving on. Let's go with this one. Since you did an upgrade, I will go with an upgrade. There was that Silver Surfer number 1. I had my my dear 0.5 green label copy, which is, perfectly fine copy. But I needed, wanted to upgrade that bad boy.
Yeah.
It was definitely on the to-do list. Love that book. And I did indeed make a point to scoop her up at a nice, clean mid-grade 5.0.
Very cool.
It's really just one of my favorite books in the collection. I love this book. I kind of want more of them. Like, I know, like, I get in the beginning, I used to be like, why does this guy have like 3 copies of the same book? I get it now. Sometimes there's certain books I'm like, I wouldn't like a handful of those.
I'm the same way. There are a few that I've picked up, and I like. If I had another copy of this, I wouldn't give it away. So.
Right. Yeah. So that's a fave.
Very cool. Definitely one of the great, late Silver Age keys.
Yeah, and I love the black and red space behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Is so cool because like it's not a black and red is not a common color scheme for space. You're usually seeing like purples, maybe green or blue or something like that, but you rarely see like a red and black galaxy. It really just makes that book pop. I do, of course, still have. I don't think I have any plans to ever get rid of that one.
Why would you?
Yeah, it's whatever someone would be willing to pay me for it. I don't think it'll ever shake out as worth it.
Yeah.
What's up, aggressively? That is indeed pretty rad. That was an eBay purchase. Okay.
Yeah, with no shows. Well, I had the one local deal, but pretty much everything else I picked up was all eBay stuff. That's where I do the majority of my shopping for older comics.
Yeah, and when you do the eBay buying, do you find yourself more often doing bidding on auctions or best offers?
It depends on the book. If I see somebody with a nice price with also a best offer, I'll always try and get a little deal, even though the price is good, because I know at that point whatever I'm going to get off it, it's going to be a really solid deal. A lot of times, I'll watch a lot of auctions. I'll watch those more often than not. But sometimes I got a bug up my butt and I got to have the book, so I'll just find the best buy it now I can find at the best price, and kind of weigh my options and pull the trigger on something.
Yeah,
I watch a lot more than I buy. I probably watched thousands of books last year and bought a handful. So
yeah.
And some of that's just out of curiosity to keep track of values and things like that too.
eBay's tricky because sometimes I'll find books, like I remember that surfer book. It was like right at GPA for that one, but sometimes like there's some eBayers that just have a habit of super over asking on books.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
and for those guys, they usually scare me away. But when I picked up my XMen 101, which was my first like big pickup off eBay, I watched this guy. This guy was overpriced by at least $100, probably $150. But I watched it for months and he wasn't selling it. So I went to him and said, I'll give you this, which I thought was a fair price and what I was looking to spend on it. And we worked out a deal. So, but that was in the $200 to $300 range for that one. But I think when you get into, upper echelons, there's probably more room for the dealer to move. But yeah, most dealers, what I'm seeing now is they're over asking. They're asking for over GPA, hoping that while they've had their book listed, some news is going to hit to spike the book, and people are just going to jump on it and take their deal.
Right. let's see what was next on J Hood's list. And it's a doozy, ladies and gentlemen. Was he able to pull off this baby right here? Green Lantern, the first book of the Bronze Age.
Yep. So I probably watched more copies of this book than anything. And right when COVID hit, there was a nice deal out there just waiting to be had, but I just got cold feet. I just didn't want to spend the money.
Yeah.
And as soon as I decided to spend the money, the book was gone. But later in the year, like mid-year, I got a present from somebody.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, Man Cave. He supplied my need for the Green Lantern 76. Solid mid-grade, just like I was looking for. I was looking for a raw copy, and he sent this to me with the intent to crack it. And I'm still on the fence, obviously, whether to crack it or not. There are some other bigger books that I'm after, and I think what I've landed on is if I land these other big books in slabs, I'll probably keep this in a slab. If I land them raw, I'll crack this. I can't just live with one slab.
So that is the one slab in your collection.
Yeah. So if 6.5 off-white to white pages comes up on Commodores, I've got a contender.
There he is. Crack it. I remember watching that and him giving his blessing of like, pop that baby open.
Yeah. And I gotta say, I gotta somewhat apologize to Man Cave. For whatever reason, I was like super low energy, even more less energy than I have tonight.
No.
And he delivers like the book of the year to me, and I'm like, hey, thanks, man.
No, you were fine. No, you could definitely tell you were gassed.
Shout out to Man Cave, one of those generous dudes out there in the community that hits people up in a big way. Thanks, man.
Absolutely, yeah. What a great book. What a fantastic book. Here's a nice little tip from Bill. He's had some luck finding the eBay seller on Instagram and working out a deal there.
Yeah, that's good advice. I've also tried to find dealers through a web store. Find the book on eBay and then see if they've got a web store, and see if you can work a deal that way.
Yeah, and that kind of makes sense, because if they're selling it through eBay, it's going to be is it 10% or?
Yeah, something like that. Between the eBay fees and the PayPal fees, 10 to 13% or something crazy like that, I guess.
Yeah. So you would think, as long as it's not something that anyone is actively bidding on, they should have the ability to pull it off and sell it to you privately.
Yep.
And they should at least be able to take 10% off, you would think.
Yep.
So that is indeed a good tip. Let's see. Let's go through some of these X-Men. So I threw this one.
Yeah, collectible paper saying the eBay fee is 10% and the payment fee is 3.25%. So dealers are soaking up 13% on every deal.
Right. Find that IG. Not a bad tip. X-Men 93. The last of the reprints, before the famous 94. This one, I was hot to trot on this one because, my understanding is it's the only John Buscema X-Men comic.
Okay, so here's where my shopping on eBay may prove you wrong on that.
Yeah?
Yeah, the original run of X-Men, they used, I don't know what issue number it was, they used that cover, but they recolored it for 93. But
Wait, they say that again?
So they used that cover art for one of the books in the regular run. It had a more like a white background more than the orange.
Hold on, let's see. It's a thumbs up, but I need you to elaborate on that. Boom, thumbs up, 93. So are you saying that there's a book earlier in the run that had this same cover?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I mean, this is from the reprint era. So when that book was in the original release, they used the same line art, but it was just colored differently.
Oh, interesting. Because I didn't think that I thought most of those reprints got fresh covers.
Some did. Some were just recolored.
Oh, I'm gonna have to track that one down. I wasn't aware that there was this was from an original run.
Yeah. Gil Kane did a lot of the new art, but there were a handful of books that they just recolored the original line art.
I'm gonna have to find me that baby for sure. Okay. Let's jump. Oh, actually, you know what? Let me just. I think I. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I clustered some X-Men. I think I clustered these X-Men books as like one of my picks. And I'm like, why do I have so many? I'm just gonna rattle these off real fast, right? So I'm not gonna show the pick. I'm just gonna flash a couple of them.
Magic Lasso is saying X-Men 45 was the original book.
X-Men 45. Ooh, I'm gonna have to scope that out. Scope that out. I also had X-Men 108 on the list, and this one came to me courtesy of Big Stone Cold Steve Whiting in a fantastic AOK.
Nice.
Yeah.
First John Byrne art in that one.
Yep. On the interior. Treasured that baby because there was like a gap. There were gaps that I needed to fill in my the new team run, early 100s and stuff. And there was like certain ones that I had my eye on. That was one. 115 was another issue. One of my favorite Cockrum covers.
Well, that's Byrne again.
One of my favorite Byrne covers. Because the symmetry on this bad boy, dude.
Yeah, it's awesome.
With Sauron, like, I love the layout of this.
Yeah, I miss John Byrne's art and that stuff. I might have to go back and reread that whole run again this year.
I was thinking the same thing. And one more that I had my eye on. It's number 102. Great battle cover. Colossus and Juggy, man. It's right in that sweet spot of that run that I'm trying to complete. And I'll tell you what, brother. It's a fat thumbs down.
Ooh, that's the first strike of the night.
Yep. First strike of the night. I, filled in some of those X-Men holes, but the 102 hole is yet to be filled.
Well, there are some people that say if you achieve all of your goals, you've not set them high enough. So there you go.
Well said. Sorry, 84. That cover seen a mile of dick. I never heard that colloquialism. Let's see. Oh yeah, we're getting into. Because I think we kind of set the bar a little higher as we got towards the latter part of our list. And the next one that was on Mr. Hood's list was that Premiere, number 1.
Yep. Adam Warlock, just such a striking Gil Kane cover. I've been digging more on the Jim Starlin run on the character, but I'm starting to go back and get the Kirby stuff too. So I figured I'd pick that one up along the way.
Oh yeah.
So I actually bought 2 copies. The first copy came with a staple pop in the top staple, and I just could not stand myself. So parted with that one, used those funds to upgrade, spent a little bit more, and got a really nice, solid copy of the book.
Nice. So you picked it up twice, technically.
Yep.
Did you move? Did you say you moved the other one? You sold the other?
Yeah. I put it up for sale in Kavi's first sale. But yeah, it's a nice, solid copy. It's hard to find, the black cover without a bunch of spine ticks and color breaks and stuff.
Right.
I did all right with this one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty sweet one right there, for sure. Very nice. So, next one up here on the docket was, as I was because there wasn't a lot of, well, I guess there was some. There was that holiday special, but there wasn't a ton of Batman representation on the list thus far. A lot of X-Men, a lot of Marvel. But there was this Batman book that was on the marquee. So I was trying to like fill out my Batman collection. I was trying to decide like which ones I wanted to go after, because there's so many damn choices. It's been around for so long. There's like tons of different eras you could dip into. Heroes, villains, keys, classic covers, you name it.
Yep.
Settle on this one.
Definitely one of Neil Adams' best covers ever.
Yeah, totally love this book. This one, it is a thumbs up. It is a thumbs up. And I kind of squeaked this one out towards the end of the year. I forget. I think it was actually on that sale that I think it was the first sale that you did with Kavi, maybe. It was definitely on when Kavi was selling on his channel.
Yeah.
He put this book up as a claim.
Definitely a great pickup. Solid grade.
Yeah. It's so funny because I was looking for I was looking for it in like this kind of grade, 6, 7, and I was watching a ton of these on eBay and keep my eyes peeled. And I felt like this was an example of one of those books that was always getting like over asked for, especially slab ones, And I'm like, damn, I was just, maybe I'll find a deal, whatever. And I remember I was like setting up to join Gorilla Todd on his auction. I just kind of had the volume off, but I had you guys on a side screen. So I don't know what he was saying or anything. All I saw was that he put the book up, and I saw the dollar amount on the screen. I was like, claim. So that worked out perfectly.
Very cool.
Happy to have that one. Perfect, except the Robin in the corner. Hey, you leave Robin alone. No, it was just you were not on that show with us for this particular list. I'm sure we've sat and shot the breeze about what books we wanted plenty of time. So, okay, this one. Do I know if you got this one? A lot of the books I kind of feel like I know if you scored them or not. I'm not sure if you secured the Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah, the Jimmy Olsen 134. So I'd gotten a copy from Bonafide Comics through I think it was their 1,000 follower contest, a drawing they did on IG. So I landed a copy of that before the year. But
right, this is an upgrade.
Yeah, so I opened it up and like half the first page is missing. So I was like, I gotta upgrade it. And of course, I needed to have a solid copy. Again, similar to that Warlock, I didn't want a lot of color breaks, and landed a pretty nice one. It's got a few spine ticks here or there, but overall a real solid copy.
Yeah,
it's really tough to find this at an affordable price without it just being eaten up by color breaks throughout the whole thing.
Well, yeah, dark colors, classic crowd surfing Superman looks like.
Yep. Neil Adams cover, Jack Kirby interiors.
Yeah, that is a great book.
First appearance of Darkseid.
Darkseid.
Man Cave, overrated. You're overrated. I'm just kidding.
That's of course, the book that our pal Biggie Shack's maybe most classic stealth buy.
Yeah,
to this
man.
day, everyone still talks about the $5 score.
I saw it live when he picked that up. I was like, he just got that thing that looks so clean. I'd still want to see it in person. He downplays it. He says it's not that great, but it looked clean when I saw it on screen. So
yeah, that was a heck of a buy, man. Okay, let's see. This next one. This one was right towards the tippy top of my want list. We were starting to kind of get into territory for me where it was like almost like the long shot picks. I'm like, maybe if I come across a deal, I don't know. Talking that X-Men 4, man.
Yeah, you expressed your interest in that, and I was like, man, that is such a smart book to be on the lookout for, like right when you said it, because yeah,
because this one really picked up some steam, man.
Yeah,
love this book. One of my favorite X-Men books. Sure, if you're in this chat, you probably know that I did grab a copy of it, and I actually got this one for a surprisingly good deal. And I gotta give credit where credit's due. First edition hooked me up with a nice deal on this book, man. So he definitely came through on the X-Men 4. I was so psyched.
Such a great pickup.
Yeah, man. Yeah, really happy with this one. This was one of the, because I recently updated my CLZ, J-Hood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I recently updated it. See, I don't know if a better way, maybe I need to just subscribe to Go Collect, but I use CLZ to price check GPAs on things because it's connected to Go Collect.
Right.
But you have to, I'm going to write a letter to the editor of CLZ that you search for the book, you see the books, you can click on it and take a look at it, but you can't check the value information until you add it to your collection. So I'll always be adding books to the collection, most of the time forgetting to take it out. And I just have tons of books in my CLZ that I don't have that I was price checking. So I recently cleaned all that up, just got the books that I have, and the bigger books. Usually, for me, it's most of my slab ones. And I didn't realize there was a little button there that says update comic values. So I think all the values that it was showing me for my books were almost a year old. So went ahead and hit the button, updated the values, and it feeds you this list, and it shows you, the increase or decrease in the values books since you last hit that button. And it was pretty cool to see a lot of the values jump up just over the last year. This was the one that had one of the bigger jumps.
That's a relatively new feature, and I've had CLZ so long that I've got what they call the grandfathered version, where I keep using it. I don't have to subscribe year after year. But I haven't gone through and put any values in yet. I should definitely do that. But with as many comics as I've got, I don't know. It's a lot of work.
Right. But I'm sure you have, in your collection wise, do you have, because I feel like everyone in their collection has, their higher value, bigger key, whatever type books. And we all have run filler type books, and probably books that we could live without,
Yeah.
You buy most of us probably do. Do you kind of keep those stored separately, or are they all within?
Everything's raw, so everything's just in order.
Yeah.
So If the house catches on fire, I gotta just I'm not gonna get everything. I just gotta pick a box and run with it.
Yeah.
But
Because
yeah.
on mine, I think I have a total. I think it was like 55 books or 58 books that I have in the CLZ with the values in it. I have my X-Men run in there just because when I'm out in the streets, I want to be able to refer, which
Right.
ones I need. But aside from the Uncanny run that I'm always trying to keep an eye on, I just have like the bigger dollar value books. Maybe you could do something like that,
Yeah, that's a smart idea.
You have to assign a grade to it for it to give you the value, of course. So you'd have to, but I'm sure you can give them a good estimate.
Sure. Yeah, I'll check that out.
Is that one of the books that I showed after an hour-long soliloquy? Surely it is. You know it is. Biggie says he only collects books he reads. Value means nothing to him. Wow. You are a purist through and through, brother. Let's see. All right, here's the crown jewel that was in Mr. Hood's list. Let's see how this one panned out. We're talking that GSA.
Yeah. Like I said, if you accomplish all your goals, you've not set your goal list high enough. I did not manage to land this one in the 2020 calendar year.
Yeah.
Landing this book is all dependent on me finalizing a deal on a original painting sale a deal I had going, and the original plan was I was going to deliver this painting and get paid for it at a modeling convention I go to in May, and that at that point I'd have the money, and I think I would have had it in time to go to the Motor City Comic Con, and I planned on shopping for it there. The deal kept getting pushed back, and then I finally finalized it. I think right after Thanksgiving, got the money in hand. Someone in the community had a nice copy that they put up. They showed on IG. I sent him an offer. We had it worked out kind of as a contingency plan. He was holding it for a while until I got paid, and then once I did get paid, I found I was in that dilemma of I had sent all those books to DS and they were lost in the mail. They had been missing for like 2 weeks.
Right.
And I was like, okay, if those books are lost and I do this deal and somehow it goes south and I lose that money, I freaked out. And as soon as I got it right in my mind, okay, the books are going to show up in the mail. And if they don't, I'm not going to have this wad of cash again to spend on this book. So I went to the person and said, okay, I'm ready to do the deal. And he's like, I had to sell it like an hour ago.
Oh,
it was that close. And that was before the end of the year, but no hard feelings with that guy either.
Yeah.
Perfect gentleman. He was great about it. Yeah. I'm sorry, I couldn't kind of finalize that. So I am on the lookout still. The way the price of the value of that book has risen this year. I mean, the price on everything, the values on everything has risen.
Yeah.
Where what I thought I would be able to buy back in the spring, I'm not going to be able to get it for the same amount of money. So, and I still would like to hold out for a raw copy, and the one that he had was a raw. So it's going to be tough to find a nice raw copy anyway. So I might just have to settle for a slightly lower than mid-grade maybe.
Yeah.
And if I do that, I'll have money to spend on some other bigger books.
Yeah, and I think it's still a great book to pick up. Because I know books like that one, the X-Men 4. Well, maybe the X-Men 4 is a little different because I'm assuming Scarlet Witch has something to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
But most X-Men books are experiencing a rise. But I still don't think that should deter anyone from picking up most of them, because there really isn't any tangible news.
Right. That's
When
the
there
one thing
is,
about
that's when you want to be like, when they actually do start dropping an actual announcement, that's when you might want to say, okay, you know what, this might be bad timing, but it's only gonna go up. Like, there's no real news yet.
yeah. I mean, that big Disney's presentation they had a couple months ago, where they showed like all the new Marvel news and stuff like that. I was so glad they didn't mention X-Men, because it would have spiked that book again, and I who knows what I would have ended up with. But
Right.
so now the struggle is, don't find something to chip away from that wad of money I got set aside for that book, which I'm having trouble with. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I think you can pull it off. And the last one that I had on my list here, it wasn't one specific book that I put on the list. I named about 4 of them, but it essentially was a golden age Batman or Detective Comics book. I really didn't have any.
I recall you being a big fan of Powell Smith, and you're going after.
Yeah, yeah. And nothing like key related for these. If anything, I just wanted to, snag some of the cooler covers or something from the options. What's up, Ron? Good to see you, man. Of the ones that I showed, this one was probably my favorite one, and I still would love to grab this book, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So of the ones that I showed, because I said I want to get something between one of these 5, I only showed this one as an example. That technically was a thumbs down. I didn't grab any of those Golden Age books, but I still kind of accomplished the goal, because, and this was a community, came my way via the community. I'm pretty sure that this book was, because that's Detective number 156, and it was like one of the oldest ones that I showed. So the one that I ended up getting was way older than I was even considering. Those were all like 50s books, I think. Maybe one was late 40s. But this beauty came to my doorstep one day.
Nice.
Detective number 99. Detective number 99 from 1945.
Great looking book in great condition. I mean,
yeah.
From here, it looks a lot better than 4 or 5, but I know what you get in a 4 or 5. But
yeah, there's a coffee cup stain.
There you go. Okay.
How dare they? Yeah, the back has a little stainage, but the cover like presents. Because you're right. If you would just if the back cover was the same condition as the front,
yeah,
I imagine it'd be higher.
Great looking book.
And of course, shout out to our pal Man Cave, who helped us each land one of our list books.
Yep.
So hell yeah. So we did pretty good. I think we each had one win.
Yeah. So were there any books that kind of eluded you for a while or were hard to land?
The Golden Age Batman was one that Man Cave helped me out with. It was, I think, probably of all of them, it was the Batman 227. The X-Men 4 just like, I remember it just happened to work out like in early summer. Like the stars just aligned on that deal.
Yeah.
But it was the 227 that it was like, I think it was towards the end of the year that I got that one, and it wasn't looking good. How about you?
Well, I looked at a lot of Green Lantern 76s since, well, technically it's this year. I've been looking for the GSX1 again. Having a hard time finding that. But yeah, I looked at a lot of GL76s. And there's a certain price point I wanted, but was trying to get the condition I wanted. But when I started looking at them, like right off the get-go, was when we had the COVID slowdown, and all prices kind of dropped, and everything was stagnant for a while. And I thought that was the reality. That okay, I don't have to spend now. I'll find this deal later in the year. And those deals never came back. So,
right.
But thanks to Man Cave for helping me land that one. By getting that from him, I was able to do things like upgrade my Mr. Miracle one and things like that. So I would have eventually landed it, but by having it A-OK to me, I was able to put the money I would have spent on that into other books. So
yeah, that's of that Detective Comics. He says, "I missed that book." The tune stains on the rear. It does indeed. We've all been there, man. And yes, it has white pages too, believe it or not.
wow.
Yeah, amazing. White pages.
Huh.
Want to do, I don't think we're going to do as comprehensive a 2021 hit list as we did last go around. But what do you say we want to go through some stuff that you're thinking about for next year?
Sure.
This year, I should say.
Yeah. Like I said before, there was my list my core hit list, or my priorities, I guess, and then there was like a ton of stuff that I was interested in, but that kind of didn't make the cut. So I've kind of narrowed down my list again, kind of in a similar way this year. I'll share a screen here.
Cool. Well, good luck with that, Bill, man. I hope you can find what you're looking for, brother. He's looking for a 1991 X-Men one.
So, I don't know if that's going to show up real well. It's not.
Can you do a control plus sign on that, baby, and zoom it?
Control plus. Hey, that works.
All right.
All right, so GSX-1 still at the top of my list.
Yeah.
I mentioned there a 6.5 or better, but a better grade in a raw condition. I'm kind of backing off of that a little bit. It's probably just going to be a solid mid grade. And my whole kind of core or priority list this year is really, most of it is going back to basics for me, going back to books that completing runs that really mean more to me than following spec and things like that. So
yeah,
I'm a huge X-Men fan, so there are still other big keys that I don't have. I don't have the first appearance of Havoc. I don't have the first appearance of Polaris. I don't have most of the original Cockrum run. I don't have most of the Neil Adams work. So I'm targeting those three we see at the top there. And then pretty much I'm not going to target 94 this year if I'm getting a giant size one, but basically 95 to about 105, I think. And I've got the 101 landed already, but I need the other run fillers.
I need that Havoc book too. That's one that I need to get around to picking up.
And that's another one that has shot up in value over the last couple of years or so. And then I still have holes in my Starlin Captain Marvel run, so I need to fill that. I dealt away a mid to low grade Daredevil 168, so I need to land a solid copy of that and some other run fillers for Daredevil during the Miller era. And then I'll talk about the new gods. I'd like to upgrade my new gods, and then to finish the run, I need 5 and 8 to finish it. And then I'd also like to upgrade my number 3 because the rest of my run is in pretty nice shape, but that one's a little bit rough. The number 1 I have is a nice solid grade, but I want a real nice one. And I might end up going slabbed with that one, but I'm not sure yet. But
it can be because that one, it's kind of what I experienced of like buying that one raw, especially offline pictures.
Mm-hmm.
it's a tricky book to really investigate condition on because that cover is so funky.
Yeah. So, and then basically kind of for funsies, I'm a Batman collector too, but for whatever reason, like the key villain appearances aren't really doing it for me. So I'm going to go for what I'm calling the Batman Unmasked covers.
Nice.
So the theme is anytime Batman we see that Bruce Wayne is Batman, those are the books I want to go after, and primarily the Silver Age ones.
Nice.
So the ones I have labeled or listed there, 101, 131, 148, and 151 are all they're all qualifiers for that.
Oh, that's cool. I love that little cover theme.
Yeah.
Action. And
then I want to land just not a bunch, maybe 2 or 3 copies of Golden Age Captain Marvel, from Fawcett, and primarily because I lack Golden Age content in my collection, and those books are really reasonably priced. I mean, you can get books from the 40s for $40 or $50 for a mid-grade book. So
yeah, I've noticed a lot of those are affordable. And I think make it any Captain Marvel family, which I'm assuming that fits the criteria too, right?
Yeah. And actually, of the ones that I've been looking at, that's probably the title I'll go after. And I'm not looking for anything specific. I'm probably just going to kind of judge by the cover and condition, for the price. Spend about $50 is probably the most I want to spend on something like that. But there's a lot of it out there. And on eBay, it kind of cycles through, stuff gets listed all the time. So for that, it's pretty much just going to come to a point where I just need to pull the trigger on something, because there's a lot of inventory out there to choose from.
Yeah, that's for sure, and almost like surprisingly affordable on some of them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, books like from the 40s, 48, 49 cover dates. So yeah, so that's my primary priority list.
Yeah. Do you have a Wish Upon a Star?
Yeah.
If
I'll stop that one, and we'll show this one.
Oh, buckle up, folks. What would you call this next list?
Well, this next slide is going to actually have three different kinds of lists. The top list is the if I run into money list. So with that, we've got some key Kirby, Thor and Fantastic Four books, some key Green Lantern books, and ASM 33, which I'm not a big Spider-Man fan, but there's just something about that Spider-Man 33 where he's kind of trapped with the water coming over.
Oh, right.
I just want to pick up one of those one of these days. And then kind of the middle section there, the silver and bronze DC that I want to buy pretty much for the artists. Things like Nick Cardy, Neil Adams, Teen Titans, the remainder of the run of Angel and the Ape, the Nick Cardy Batlash stuff.
Yeah.
Adventures of Shazam between number 10 and number 19 had a lot of work done by Bob Oxner on the Mary Marvel strips and that. Related showcase books, a couple of Nick Cardy, Brave and the Bold, and more Oxner adventure comics. And then I need to keep my chops up and go after another Neil Adams Batman, just kind of chip at those once a year or something like that. So.
Yeah.
And then spec at the bottom, just general spec books I'll keep an eye out for. And they're not like super hot priorities, but they're the books that I know if I don't buy them at the right time, I probably won't ever get them.
Young Avengers 6 is a nice one. I like that. As Young Avengers 1 is the one that everyone talks about, but 6 is a nice little sleeper. Yep.
And the others, the all-new Wolverine has got Honey Badger, the first appearance of Honey Badger, which is a character that's she was kind of popular when she first popped, but just on the off chance they show her a movie, I think that book will spike pretty well.
Yeah.
Far Sector, with them making a Green Lantern series, I've heard great things about the story, but I've not read it myself yet. So
yeah,
and it's still reasonable. It's like a $20 book, but the thing is, there are like 3 covers, and they're all, in my opinion, equally good. So it's kind of hard to judge which one to go with there. And then the Green Lantern 201 is a mostly white cover. It's the first appearance of Kilowog. So, and it's a I guess a Copper Age book, so it's not super tough to find, but since it's white, it can be hard to find in a nice condition.
Right. Yeah, that book was I remember that one was in my possession at some point, like last year.
I've owned it before.
I let go of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I never realized it was his first appearance, and when it was this back then, wouldn't have been a big deal.
So. Right.
So yeah, so that's
who on earth is Batlash? Batlash is great.
Yeah, he's a Western character published by DC. Nick Hardy did all the art. I think it went from for 7 or 8 issues and had a showcase edition and things like that.
There's one issue that I don't get a lot of seller's remorse. It's usually for a greater good or something, and it's all good. But there was one Nick Hardy Batlash cover that sometimes I'd be like, man, I wish I still had that one. And it's my favorite Batlash cover that I've seen, and it's the scene it's like a graveyard at night, and Batlash is taking cover behind a tombstone, and there's like a crew of Native Americans kind of marching forward with rifles, and it's a fantastic cover, dude. It's like a mood to it. The coloring is great. I love that cover.
Yeah. I'm not sure if the first issue of the showcase cover wasn't that great, but some of the covers in the regular series were awesome.
Yeah. The showcase one's kind of weak. It's like a wanted poster with a big cheesy grin that he has on his face.
I don't know what it is about me and those that era of weird DC books like Angel and the Ape. Nobody talks about that. There's no spec on that, but this is kind of something fun and different, and I like the art in it. So I think I had the Dolphin showcases on my list, and if you keep your eye out, you can find that at a reasonable price for it and get a decent copy. But that's another book that if it's on people's minds, the price goes up.
Yeah, I love that book as well. Which that'll segue a little into what I'm thinking for this year. I decided to not even really make a list for 2021. I'm probably gonna scale back considerably. I'm getting my ducks in a row I have a big financial investment that I'm making at the end of the year or the beginning of 2022. So I gotta be financially responsible for. I always, even when I'm buying comics, I'm financially responsible, but it's I'm trying to amass a lump of cash for the end of the year. So that some of my comic book budget is gonna go into that. So
sure,
I'm gonna have to be pretty prudent there. So as far as goals go, it's really going to be, I think I'm going to want to just focus on fleshing out some runs, honestly. Like the showcase, I've really become a big fan of that DC showcase run. It's like, I like that it's chock. The cool thing is it's one run that you're collecting, but it's like chock full of so many different characters, and there's a bunch of little first appearances in it, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's quirky, like you said, like the Angel and the Ape. I still need to grab that one, but there's so nutty. Like, what was it last weekend at the flea market? The Bawana Beast, just whacked out characters that and I think it's funny that a lot of them are these one-hit wonders. They didn't really endure a lot of them. So I get a kick out of that run.
Right.
Stuff like DC Comics Presents. I'm I'm getting. I think I probably have like maybe half that run.
Do you have the early issues?
I don't know what. I think most of them are like in the middle or later.
Yeah, the early issues are great because they've got the Jose Garcia Lopez art in them.
Mm,
The
yeah.
first amongst the first 20, like they're scattered through there. He didn't do like straight runs or anything.
One of the shops I go to has a #1 on the wall. I need to snag that one. I think it's really just like the He-Man one that's the big ticket that I don't have, because the Teen Titans and like the Mongol books I think are the only other two that kind of go for a bit more.
Yeah. There's some crazy combos in there. Like there's one issue that's got Superman and the Demon, and it's drawn by Joe Kubert. It's like, who would have imagined that combo?
Right. Yeah, there's some fun team ups. It's Superman and the Vigilante is a fun one, and then the one with Superman and the Challenges of the Unknown, drawn by Kirby.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fantastic book.
Yep.
So, yeah, that one's on the list. I think I plan to continue through that same like John Byrne, Claremont era of X-Men, like that 102 that I thumbs down on for this last list. Probably want to try to snag that one. I don't think it's a big money book per se.
Yeah, those Cochran books are really hit or miss. Some of them are really pricey, and some of them are really reasonable.
Right. So yeah, so I'll plan to chip away at some of the X-Men. But as far as like bigger key books, honestly, I'm so happy with where my stuff stands. I have a ton of books that I didn't really expect to have. Like, it's still nuts when I walk past my comic wall there, and there's like a pretty high grade 180 Hulk 181 on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, geez, man. The FF trilogy, like I got that one pretty early. So what more can a guy want? You know, I'm doing pretty good. That's kind of how I look at it.
Hey, Bonafide Comics, good to see you, man.
Yo, Rock City. Yeah, man. So that's where we're at. We've laid out our thoughts for 2021. We got to say, we pretty much nailed 2020, dude.
Yeah.
We did. And
again, I got to shout out Coach Vic for backing me up. For whenever I was about to go, off the rails, he's like, well, get back on the rails. That's not one of the books you're after. So
yeah.
I can get sidetracked easily. Any little bit of news, any rumor has got me looking for, spec books and stuff like that. And I'm not that big into spec. I don't sell that many books. And if you're speccing, if you're not selling, you're not doing it right. So,
right.
But yeah, one of the other goals for me this year is to do some grading and selling of books.
Yeah.
So I've got DS, pressing some books for me now that I'll hopefully be able to turn into something substantial, FF48 or something like that, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a great pickup. Yeah, I want to do some grading too. That's on the agenda. I think I'm gonna skip those particular showcase issues. Man Cave, I think I can do without those. So yeah, man, we did it.
Yep.
Well, everyone, thanks for hanging out. I had a fun time, as expected.
Me too. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man, it's always good to catch up with you, J Hood, and hang out for a bit, talk comics.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right, chat. Have a good night. Don't forget our boy. Let me check on. Let me get a live status update because I already voted. You can still vote. I'm gonna have to catch up. Our pal D-Runk, he's in mid debate here, mid battle. So let's go give him some support. And just vote for Scarlet Spider. I'm pretty sure he laid out a good case, but just
for sure.
All right, guys. Have a great evening. Let me find my cool little outro skit thing.
See everybody later. Thanks for coming out.
Adios.